Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post, man. You already know the vibes. And if you're feeling like it, man, go on and throw up that too sweet for me in the comment section below. We got a lot to talk about with this week's episode of NXT. I ain't gonna waste no time. Let's just get into the action. The first match was between Kelani Jordan and Kiana James, and as it was mentioned on commentary, Vic Joseph said that this isn't the first time that a James is jealous of a Jordan. Do with that information what you will, you know. Take it however you want to take it. It is what it is. But speaking of commentary, we got Booker T back. We got the great man back. The five-time champion is back in the booth, ready to drop them knowledge darts and all types of crazy shenanigans that Booker T says. It's always great to have Booker T back in the booth, man. But this match between Kelani Jordan and Kiana James, it was an alright way to start off the show, man. Nice first match for the episode. Kiana James got the win due to outside interference from Izzy Dame. She's running interference. She knocked Kelani Jordan onto the ring apron, which I don't know if any of you know this, but that is indeed the hardest part of the ring. But speaking of too sweet, we got the OC, the Good Brothers, the Big LG, Karl Anderson back in the building, taking on Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. And you know, Booker T was talking about on commentary how, you know, Malik, Blade, and Enofe, they need to be more serious. They're joking. They're having fun. I don't know if Booker T is as anti-fun, because he was saying the same thing about the New Day, so I don't know. But, you know, OC1, formerly known as the Bullet Club. And speaking of Bullet Club, if you've been living under a rock for whatever reason, if you haven't heard, the word on the street is Tama Tonga, former member of the Bullet Club, former New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestler, is making his way to the WWE. And I kind of called this last week, but I have a feeling that Tama Tonga is coming to NXT, and he's going to link up with the OCs and link up with Anderson and Gallows, and I guess do a newer version of the OC, because they need something, man. It is cool to see Gallows and Anderson actually doing something instead of, you know, just being in the back, you know, talking to AJ Styles or just standing around or hanging out with Mia Yim. It's actually good to see them wrestle and actually have an objective, have a goal, and their goal is the NXT Tag Team Championships. And speaking of the NXT Tag Team Championships, after the match, you had Chase U, who were the #1 contenders, come out and say, hey man, they felt kind of disrespected by the Bullet Club coming back last week. And then you had Axiom and Nathan Frazier come out. I guess Nathan Frazier's new gimmick is just interrupting people, so, you know, good for him. But then out of nowhere, you had the LWO. So now it's looking like the NXT Tag Team division is kind of heating up a little bit. And on top of all that, you have the Wolfdogs, who are taking on Chase U, I think, next week for the Tag Team Championships. And you even had a segment where the Bullet Club is talking to the Wolfdogs. So I'm assuming if the Wolfdogs can make it past Chase U, that's going to be the standard deliver match. The OC taking on the Wolfdogs. And I ain't even mad at it. And the possibility of Tama Tonga pulling up to NXT, it's all good vibes here. But not so good vibes are happening for old Roxanne Perez. She keeps getting screwed out of opportunity after opportunity. Last week, she missed her chance to get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship because she was taking a shower. That should not be a message to anybody. I encourage all of you to take a shower. Don't not do things because, you know, you have to wash your behind. Take a shower. Please, I'm begging you. But this led us to a match between Roxanne Perez and This leads us to our match between Roxanne Perez and Jakara Jackson. And you know, Roxanne's continuing this little mini heel turn, is building each week, each match, each segment. You know, she's becoming more and more aggressive. She put hands on Jakara Jackson earlier in a pre-tape segment, which led us into this match. And Roxanne ended up getting the win via via submission. So, you know, nothing too much more I can say about that. You know, the continued heel turn with Roxanne Perez. Eventually, she's going to get that title shot, I'm assuming, at Stand and Deliver, but, you know, only time will tell with that one. But speaking of the women, you have JC Jane and Thea Hale talking, and, you know, JC Jane, she's doing things, but it's not with the best intention of Chase U. It's kind of becoming more clear that it's very selfish on her part. You know, she's calling Duke Hudson and Andre Chase losers. She's calling Chase U a whole bunch of losers. She even low-key called Thea Hale a loser. And, you know, she tried to clean it up a little bit. Even though Thea Hale's like, listen, I try to take your advice. And Riley Osborne, he doesn't really want to be, you know, boyfriend or girlfriend anymore. He just wants to be just friends. I took your advice. And she's like, don't worry about it. You're better off. But she's absolutely not better off. It was horrible advice. I said it before. I will continue to say it. It was terrible advice. I'm assuming this is going to possibly lead to a match between Thea Hale and JC Jane. And you kind of hate to see it because, you know, they came together. Thea Hale matured a little bit, but not really, because the old Thea Hale is trying to come out. She's the little ball of energy that we all know and love. That's the Thea Hale we want to see. We don't want to see her be all serious and shit. We want to see her have fun. So I feel like that's going to be the breaking point between these two. But speaking of breaking point, oh baby, you had a match between Dijak and Luca Crucifino, who is a lawyer, and he caught Dijak doing some legal shit last week with Joe Gacy, which led us to our match this week. And this was a short match, but it was a hard-hitting match. You know, there was chops and slaps. Dijak got slid over the announcer's table. That was a pretty funny spot. Dijak's chopping the shit out of Luca. Luca's taking it to him, though. He was holding his own, but it wasn't enough. You know, Dijak hit the feast of your eyes on Luca, whatever his name is. But, you know, he did a good job of standing out and, you know, holding his own against old Dijak. But after the match, he had Joe Gacy come out. He still had the straight jacket on, and him and Dijak started fighting. You even had Luca, Mr. Crucifino hit Dijak in the back of the head with a crowbar. And the D'Angelo fan was looking like, yo, we kind of need this guy. And Tony D'Angelo, he's making some moves that we're going to talk about later on in this video. But, you know, there's that. But speaking of Dijak and Joe Gacy, they're going to have an asylum match next week. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's going to be like no disqualification, no holds barred, you know, weapons and tables and ladders and chairs and shenanigans. So they've been having a fun little feud so far. But speaking of next week, we have Lyra Valkyria coming out. She's calling out Tatum Pasley because Tatum Pasley held up her end of the deal. She stayed in the back for Lyra's match last week. And because of this, she had a surprise. She had a little present for her. And what the present was is an opportunity at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships next week. It's going to be Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Pasley taking on the Kabuki Warriors. And, you know, Tatum's all excited. She's like, yay, we're a team. And Lyra's like, yo, chill out, bro. Chill out. But before they can get even more into this celebration, of all damn people, you had, oh my God, Ridge Holland come out. Oh, brother. And I'm like, who invited blood? Whose mans is this? Why is dude out here? So he's talking, he's saying words. He's like, yeah, I wasn't even really paying attention. I kind of checked out. But you had the lights go out and you had those words that have been scrolling in the vignettes for these past few weeks. Saying whatever. People were speculating that it's going to be Okada. Some people were thinking it was going to be Julia. It was none of those people. It was the return, a perfect 10 return of the former Ty Dillinger, now going by his God-given name of Shawn Spears. I don't know if that's really his real name, but Shawn Spears is back in NXT. He cracked old Ridge Holland across the dome piece with a steel chair. So Shawn Spears is back. He's in NXT, and he said that he's going to be at Roadblock next week. I'm assuming wrestling Ridge Holland, and I hope Shawn Spears handles this dude quick and swiftly and gets him out of the company I love, the promotion I love, because Ridge Holland kind of sucks. Gallows kind of sucks. I'm kind of tired of that whole feud, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what Shawn Spears does in NXT. Is he going to be a game changer? Probably not. But you know, it's a nice little surprise for the NXT universe and the WWE universe combined. So cool, good for you, Shawn Spears. Welcome back. And something that kind of popped me was after you had the return of Shawn Spears, NXT kind of pulled a AEW, because instead of like being like, oh my gosh, Shawn Spears is back, they just cut to the back where you have Brooks Jensen challenging Oba Femi for the NXT North American Championship. I'm assuming this is happening next week. Your funeral, Brooks, because you have you're going to be no match for the brute force of the ruler, the NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi. Rest in peace, rest in piss to you, your mullet, and your goofy ass mustache. But speaking of goofy ass mustaches and beards and facial hair, we have Lexis King. He's out here, he's challenging Von Wagner to a match, and he's fighting for the honor of his illegitimate children and the honor of his best friend, Mr. Stone. And you know, this match, it was what it was. You had Robert Storm trying to run interference, and he got knocked on his ass by Lexis King, and then he inadvertently got bumped by Von Wagner, and Von Wagner's going to check on Mr. Stone, and he's like, yo, let's go, I'm okay. But that wasn't enough, because the power of his goofy mustache, Lexis King's that is, defeated Von Wagner. Lexis King's beard makes me angry for some reason, so you know. But something that did not make me angry was the highly anticipated match between Gigi Dolin and Jaida Parker. Jaida Parker, who was trending all week last week. She was on World Star. She was all over Twitter, Facebook. If MySpace was still a thing, she was be all over that as well. Jaida Parker, for her. Look, she's a beautiful woman and she has a nice body. But she is also a wrestler. She's a women's wrestler. And you are seeing the improvement of Jaida Parker week by week. You know, each match she has, she improves a little bit more. And I gotta be honest with you, all thirsts aside, all jokes aside, this was a pretty good match from Jaida Parker. You know, her and Gigi Dolin, they had a pretty decent match. You know, yams aside, yeeks aside, gat aside. It was a good match. And for some reason, you had Ariana Grace come out, you know. She's trying to play peacekeeper. She's trying to figure out why these two combat athletes are fighting in a combat sport known as professional wrestling, you know. I guess she didn't get the memo. She's trying to change the universe or whatever. So, you know, good luck to our queen. But she did provide a distraction. And Jaida Parker ended up getting the win. So another good win for Jaida Parker. And Gigi Dolin's looking kind of irritated at Ariana Grace. Like, why are you here? What are you doing? You tremendous goof. But something that is not goofy. Something that should be taken very seriously. It is the Heritage Cup held by Noam Dar, who some would consider the greatest Heritage Cup champion of all the times. And he's facing one member of the No Quarters Catch Club. I actually said the name correctly. 10 points for Hufflepuff. I did it. But the condition of this match was he didn't know, Noam Dar didn't know who he was facing. He didn't know who his opposite was going to be. But it ended up being Charlie Dempsey. Since he linked up with Metaphor, this is the first time Noam Dar was, you know, outnumbered, because you only had Or Miss out there with them, but you had all four members of the No Quarters Catch Club out there with Charlie Dempsey, and this was in Charlie Dempsey's advantage. You know, they're doing backhanded things behind the referee's back. Charlie Dempsey's out he's out wrestling old Noam Dar, and we have a new Heritage Cup champion. Charlie Dempsey did it, man. And I don't know if they're operating under freeboard rules or no quarter rules, or I don't have any change rules. But Charlie Dempsey ended up getting the win. And I don't know if they all defend the title or if it's just going to be Charlie Dempsey. But, you know, it's a sad day for the Metaphor. Sad day for Noam Dar. He's going to cry in the car. I'm pretty sure of it. But something that has no crying matter is our main event segment. This episode of NXT actually started off with Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov talking to each other in the middle of the ring. Melo had security out there with him because he saw those training videos from Ilya Dragunov, who was probably most likely going to kill Carmelo Hayes if they do wrestle again. But Carmelo said, listen, main event segment tonight, you, me, contract signing, you want me for the NXT championship, you got me, you just got to sign up the dotted line. But there was another person involved in this contract signing shenanigans, and that is the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. And that's the power of the Don, that's the power of family. So basically what's going to happen, Next week is going to be Tony D'Angelo wrestling Carmelo Hayes, and the winner of that match will go to face Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver. And I'm pretty much calling it right now. Next week, we're going to see the return of Trick Williams. I'm banking on it. I'm calling it right now. I'm setting on business. That's what's going to happen, and that's going to lead us to our match. So what I thought was going to happen, we were going to have Carmelo Hayes versus Dragunov next week, and they pulled a little swerve on us. We got okie doked. I ain't mad at it. It's going to be a switch up. It's not going to be, so formulaic, and it's going to be something different. So Stand and Deliver is looking like Dragunov versus D'Angelo and Melo versus Trick. All is right in the world. But with that being said, guys, what did you think of this week's episode of NXT? Are you excited to see the return of Shawn Spears? Are you excited to see the possible debut of Tama Tonga in NXT? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care of ease. I'm out. Peace. Too sweet me.